Hi everyone, welcome back to You Syu'D Know Podcast. Thank you kepada korang semua yang tune in sekarang ni sama dekat Spotify ke, Apple Podcast ke ataupun dekat YouTube. First of all, kalau korang ada apa-apa feedback, jangan lupa boleh hantar dekat kita punya email YouSyu'DKnow@gmail.com. And then before kita start kita punya topik hari ni, I nak cakap terima kasih dulu ke korang semualah, especially yang bagi sokongan dekat kita punya newly launched podcast ni, especially dekat TikTok. I rasa recently kita ada quite exponential number growth in terms of viewers, comments and engagement. So thank you dekat korang semua yang mungkin tak sempat pergi YouTube, so pergi ke TikTok untuk dapatkan some snippets of kita punya podcast secara keseluruhan lah. Okay, minggu lepas kita bawa Ultimate. Minggu ni kita bagi topik yang berbeza sedikit lah. Kita nak sentuh dalam bidang teknologi. Jadi sebelum saya perkenalkan individu yang kita bawa hari ini dekat podcast You Syu'D Know ini, beliau merupakan seorang frontman ataupun vocalist dalam salah satu band metal DragonRed. And apart from that, dia juga merupakan seorang event MC, TV host. Kalau tengok profile tu macam lebih kurang dengan saya. Cuma dia punya target market dia berbeza sikit lah. Sekarang ni dia dah bertukar ke arah teknologi. Saya masih lagi sebagai TV presenter, MC host. And then another maybe some info for you guys. Beliau ni dia minat metal and a big fan of Liverpool. And then the latest one yang saya fahamkan, beliau merupakan seorang individu yang buat review tag lah dekat YouTube, dipanggil sebagai Adam Lobo TV. Jadi hari ini tak lain tak bukan, sebelah saya adalah Adam Lobo.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Terima kasih. Dan I like how I find it weird, but at the same time I think I can get used to the whole beliau. Something which I'm not very used to, but okay. This
is basically kita punya macam trademark lah dekat, because I from RTM kan, so kita address people in such manner, because kita memang tak ajak calon-calon orang lah. Mungkin korang macam, siapa lah Adam ni? Hello, you dengar sini, I nak cerita dekat you siapa sebenarnya Adam. Kalau kita boleh paparkan sekejap dekat YouTube, Adam ada banyak sangat tech review yang macam korang rasa macam nak tahu macam mana kegunaan barang-barang ataupun gadget-gadget tersebut kan. Tapi sebelum kita nak ke arah itu, Adam, introduce yourself first.
Hi guys, nama saya Adam Lobo ataupun Adam pun boleh. Masa saya dekat sekolah, orang panggil Adam. All my Malay friends dan sesiapa yang nak panggil Adam pun boleh. Saya memang buat YouTube channel untuk buat review tech seperti iPhone dan semua barangan tech. Okay, so that's my main niche lah. Tapi selain itu, like what you mentioned, come from a music background, but then I slowly went into different areas of my life. And yes, for those of you who just joined us and never heard of the channel yet, it's called Adam Lobo TV. Make sure to check out on YouTube. Currently at 145,000 plus subscribers. Doing purely dalam bahasa Inggeris, tapi I promise you dia punya bahasa Inggeris bukan bombastic. Dia simple untuk korang understand.
Okay. You memang minat tech daripada dulu ke atau macam mana you sebenarnya? Because you punya background ni from music sebenarnya kan asalnya. And then macam mana you boleh terjun dalam bidang tech pula sekarang ni?
Even from the beginning stage, a lot of friends, even before I even started YouTube, bila dia nak beli headphones ke, dia nak beli handphone ke, earbuds ke, even laptops, diorang akan call I. I was like the resident tech guy lah. Tapi sebelum tu saya tidak pernah fikir nak ada nak buat YouTube channel.
Kenapa diorang call you? Means you always speak to them about tech?
That's a very good question. Yeah, so it's because of that, right? And I always get excited with tech items, like even when the Nokia days, when 3310, the 3210.
It's like you subconsciously have passion towards tech.
But I didn't think of myself of later on doing a tech channel. That time memang tak ada YouTube kan. So I've always been the resident tech guy, but I never thought at that point of time that I would use that as my career, because I've always loved music more. And eventually when it came time for when I needed to do similar content related to that, that's where I said, you know what, I want to do this tech full time. And of course there are different phases in my life whereby I started off with the music side, and then I was hosting in between, and then I was working in Astro as a corporate guy doing event management to where I am today.
Okay. And so you're full-time now as a tech reviewer, or do you have any other work besides this?
Yeah, I am fully reviewing tech. So the YouTube channel is a whole company as a whole. So dia memang kita ada semua sekali 6 team. So it's a team of 6. Love the guys really performing at the best. Kita ada video editor, kita juga ada our graphic artist, we have the QC person, so we have a full-fledged team. Tapi selain daripada what we do on YouTube, I also do live streaming on Shopee. Been doing live streaming. I was one of the official Shopee hosts for 4 years, and then because things got very hectic on the YouTube side of things, so tapi sekali-sekali I akan masih buat live streaming untuk Shopee, Lazada dan Zalora punya platform.
So you buat tu pun tech jugalah, gadget
yes,
juga.
so kadang-kadang tech, kadang-kadang I don't know why they put me there, but sometimes lifestyle pun ada. Walaupun I
because you can talk.
Yeah, and it's also like you know, Ultimate last week was saying about how he always wears baju putih, right? So for me it's the same.
Previous episode, yeah.
So I selalu pakai hitam, black and grey. So that's my wardrobe, and is you won't believe what's the price for it because I buy in bulk. So yeah, so to me, I like things minimal. At the same time, that's why I'm always shocked when, like, I remember there was lots of gigs coming from Zalora. I'm like, tapi I tak pakai ni fancy baju. But yeah, other than YouTube is live streaming, live hosting, and also planning to do a podcast. Hopefully I can do that too.
Wow. And he's so good and well informed. Like prior to our conversation today, like he had done like a thorough research on our podcast, newly launched podcast. Like he knows from A to Z. So when dia mention tu, I rasa macam, wow, I feel not to say overwhelmed, tapi I rasa macam ada a hint of proud because kita ada orang yang macam Adam yang sentiasa membaca, ambil tahu tentang maklumat-maklumat terkini dan juga semasa kan. Okay, now I want to talk nak touch a bit lah on your current career right now as a tech reviewer, full time dekat YouTube. You mentioned just now kan.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, we can call you as a content creator, right?
Yep.
Like you said earlier, macam dulu YouTube tak berapa famous sangat lah. Kalau yang pakai pun selalunya orang luar lah. Kalau yang buat tech review ni, kalau tech review sekarang ni baru dia macam like boom, because of the gadget dan sebagainya, and then orang banyak familiar dengan YouTube. So you as a content creator now, apa pandangan you tentang kehidupan you sebagai seorang content creator ni kan? Is it hard?
Oh, I love the question. So the idea of being a content creator is way much better than being called an influencer. I absolutely hate people calling me influencer because my job is not to influence people. My job is to review a tech product. So when I get those emails coming from internationally or even locally, say, hi, we are looking as you as a tech influencer, I'll always stop there and say that I'm not a tech influencer, I'm a tech reviewer. Sebab kalau I tech influencer, which means that it's clearly influencing people whether or not the product is good or not, right? So that is one of the reasons why I stick to my current content creation. Sebab katakan kalau you datang daripada industri corporate, kalau ada klien nak bayar duit untuk create content ke, nak create advertising ke, whoever you hire, talent tu must say something good, right? Which can be a little tough for a content creator. So why I love my industry, and I'm not sure whether other industries are the same, is the fact that yes, we get paid, tapi bayaran tersebut bukan dari segi kita influence apa yang saya sebagai reviewer tengah cakap, tapi bayaran tersebut adalah untuk create content tersebut. So like I was telling Aizat and Ai behind the scenes is that when I shoot my videos dekat YouTube, saya gunakan kamera yang memang high quality, 6K kamera, 12K kamera kalau necessary. Dan saya punya team of editors tu memang one of the best that you can ever have. So having that combination of great equipment dan juga editing style untuk Adam Lobo TV dan kita punya style of content creation adalah dia punya fees untuk klien bayar. Tapi diorang don't have a say on what I can do with it. Now, there were times whereby client came up to me and go like, apa pasal you cakap benda ni slow? You boleh remove tak that part? So what happens is that I remove them. So it's their final time that I collaborate with them. So korang boleh figure out lah. Sekarang ni dekat Adam Lobo TV ni, saya review not every single brand, because some brands I decided not to continue on because they want to dictate what I say, and it's a simple no, and I say bye-bye to them lah. So korang figure out and let me know in the comment section below.
So maksudnya you as a content creator, you stick with your principle of providing a high quality and as honest as you can.
Yes.
As a tech reviewer.
Yes.
Because sometimes kan bila orang jadi content creator ni, dia punya the first thing that comes in their mind is money, They want make business in a way, kan? But not for you. It's different for you.
Oh, business is very important, especially when you grow within the platform, because the only way for you to grow is, of course, to hire people to help you out, right? So, for example, like this whole podcast, imagine if Shu have to do the recording and do the editing and all. It will take your time where you need to concentrate about how to create better content for the podcast, betul? So bila you ada staff, so katakan ada full-time editor ke, full-time producer, full-time manager, which is I, of course. But having this staff also means that you need to create money. But there is a fine line that korang perlu tahu sebagai content creator, that you need to make sure that you do not be biased towards who is paying you. Because in the end of the day, korang kena tahu siapakah audience anda. Audience anda adalah orang yang subscribe. Yes, diorang tidak bayar untuk subscribe, tapi your long-term subscribers ataupun viewers adalah orang yang akan confirm will stick to you whether you are down or whether you're up. And for my industry especially, kalau katakan saya menggunakan smartphone ataupun tablet yang bateri dia horrendous, tapi I cakap bateri dia bagus, ting macam tu, they will come at me. They will come at me at the comment section below and say, Adam, you said the battery was amazing, but it's not. Thankfully, Alhamdulillah, until today, I never had such comment, because people love how I am honest. I guess it all comes down to being constructive when you put out that honesty. So instead of saying the camera sucks, tell why. And if you can, being in the industry, there's a way to say it. So you can say that, like, you know how smartphones these days, which annoys me and everybody knows that, they come up with a dedicated macro lens just for the sake of having an additional camera. Tapi dia punya camera tak boleh pakai. So sometimes I'll call them out and say that, why do you have this macro camera when it doesn't serve its purpose?
I thought so too. I thought I was the only one who think of it that way. Like nobody uses micro camera.
Yeah, so it's called macro camera. Kononnya kalau you nak ambil gambar shots, lepas tu dia akan tukar macam microscope. iPhone 15 Pro Max, walaupun mahal for a lot of people, you don't have a macro camera, but you can take close-up shots. So that comes down to software optimization more than hardware. And that's why I feel it's very important. That is one. Another thing is that katakan a lot of people are fool. Katakan dia punya kamera ada 100 megapixel, 200 megapixel, everywhere, wow. But the fact of the matter is that walaupun kamera tersebut ada 200 megapixel, 100 megapixel, something which has a 12 megapixel can beat the 100 megapixel, sebab it all comes down to the image processing of each of the things. So kalau katakan I tak beritahu audience pasal whether or not this 200 megapixel is better than the 48 megapixel camera, then the audience will be like, Adam, tapi I baru beli. You told me it's very good, tapi kalau I bandingkan dengan smartphone yang ada 12 megapixel, it doesn't look as good. So what's up? So that's where I need to help them to make a purchase decision.
Ada tak macam you buat tech review ni based on demand? Maksudnya teknologi kan always evolve, but then of course akan ada demand, like specifically untuk review some tech. Ada tak?
Okay, so the toughest thing about being a tech reviewer in Malaysia specifically adalah dua benda. Number one is to keep up with the global market. The double-edged sword about doing English content is that I tengah compete bukan dekat orang Malaysia tapi globally juga. So certain things takes a while to reach here. So for example, because Malaysia does not have on an official Apple store, so the iPad Pro, which was announced last month, kita sebagai rakyat Malaysia belum lagi dapat. So when I take the video out, the whole world has already seen it because my audiences come not only from Malaysia tapi US dan sebagainya. So that is one of the challenges to keep up with that, because you're right. Because if I'm doing a tech review dalam bahasa Melayu, what happens is that it's a bit easier sebab dah datang dekat Malaysia, so kita punya rakyat Malaysia dah biasa with that. That is one of the main, I would say, challenges that I face. The second challenge is that kita punya Malaysian weather is like Melbourne. Melbourne is worst. But whenever I like to do smartphone camera reviews, I suka ambil kalau kita ada cuaca yang cerah.
Okay.
Nak tunjuk dia punya dynamic range, nak tunjuk dia punya blue sky dan sebagainya. Tapi kita punya cuaca very unpredictable kan. So kadang-kadang hujan, kadang-kadang okay. So every time when there's a blue sky, I will stop everything I do. Lepas tu angkat phone. Okay guys, let's shoot now because blue sky. Lepas tu ambil gambar. So those two things are the most challenging thing to be as a content creator, specifically on tech here in Malaysia.
Betul. Because bila nak jadi content creator ni, kita tengok dia punya hasil dia je, tapi behind dia tu there's a lot of works that you need to do, especially apa yang Adam kongsi tadi kan.
Betul.
You kena tunggu cahaya, because takkanlah you nak tipu orang, you nak ambil gambar dekat laptop. The
betul,
cloud kan.
betul.
I mean the sky kan. Okay, since you dah review banyak tech gadget and everything kan, kalau macam contoh gadget tu tak masuk Malaysia, macam mana, how are you going to start review each of the products?
I simply tak akan review. So macam katakan, because I feel that still my primary audience adalah daripada Malaysia. So I give a very clear example, Apple Vision Pro yang dia punya I know that kita ada golongan reviewers yang dah pernah buat review, which it's fine by them. But when the people are interested in the product, kalau tak ada dekat Malaysia, what's the point? So Apple Vision Pro, in case you did not know, it is not officially available in Malaysia. And then kalau katakan you bawa produk dekat sini, Apple ID anda pun kena guna berdasarkan dengan ID where you're situated in countries like United States. So you need to use VPN. Why go through all the trouble, spending a lot of money on something which does not natively work in our beloved country Malaysia? So kalau ada situasi macam itu, saya tak akan review. So orang akan request and I'll just tell them politely I cannot review. There's even certain smartphones, like I remember OnePlus came up with a foldable. OnePlus is a smartphone brand, tapi tak ada dekat Malaysia, tapi Oppo pula ada. So what I will do is that I review the Oppo version walaupun OnePlus punya version was released globally. So to answer your question in a very simple way, kalau produk tersebut tiada dekat Malaysia, saya tak akan review produk tu because it does not make sense. Yes, I have an American audience dan juga UK audience, tapi kalau dia memang not easily purchased by kita rakyat Malaysia, I don't see a reason for me to review the product.
Now that you mentioned tadi ada few gadget yang macam quite expensive, maybe not affordable to some people kan. Tapi orang sekarang ni bila you review tech, so orang akan macam secara tak sengaja mungkin persuaded by your review. Of course you akan bagi tahu apa yang bagus tentang sesuatu gadget tu kan.
Yes, betul.
So let's say ambil contoh ke sini iPhone lah kan. Not everyone can afford iPhone. But then because you start review tu, dia membuatkan orang rasa macam, oh, this one worth my money walaupun dia tak cukup kat poket dia. So how are you going to be, take responsibility on that matter?
I don't think that responsibility falls to the content creator for situasi macam itu. Sebab in the end of the day, it all comes down to what do you want to prioritize in life. I'm sure you would agree, while people say that the iPhone is the most expensive smartphone, but do you know that it's still the number one selling smartphone in the world for how many years in a row? So if it is the most expensive thing that you can buy, which is true, how is it still the number one selling smartphone? It's very simple. It's I give you a very clear example, and I'm sure most of you who are watching and you would probably agree with me, is the fact that kita ada Grab rider yang menggunakan iPhone. Banyak saya nampak. And we are not talking about iPhone 14, iPhone 13, because sebagai tech reviewer, bila I tengok, I say, wow, there's a new iPhone 15. This fella's got it. So again, why I'm not judging diorang tau. It means that for them as a Grab rider, for example, diorang tahu smartphone ni adalah investment untuk kerja diorang, dan selain daripada Grab rider, it could be investment for you, for example. So would you spend a lot of money on something else, or would you spend money on a smartphone which you know will be forever, almost forever, I would say, not forever, but at least you know you're going to spend your money on an iPhone. You know that you're going to have a gadget that will last long. You're going to spend your money on a Samsung phone. You know you'll be having a very long-term use of that. So I wouldn't take responsibility for that, because my job is already done by giving them all the things that you can do and what you cannot do on the iPhone, what you can do and what you cannot do on the Samsung Galaxy series phones. And then it's up to them to make a purchase decision. Because I don't think they're going to buy and regret. They will regret, and I will hold responsibility kalau saya cakap benda yang bagus tapi diorang found out it's not bagus. Then I'll take responsibility. But I don't think that I will, and I should take responsibility for their purchase. Yeah.
Ada tak case ataupun insiden macam tu pernah jadi?
Tidak pernah. Dari segi my point, tak pernah. Tapi global audience ada call me out few times about certain things which nothing major.
Just something minor.
They call me out on situasi macam tu, whereby I remember when I was reviewing the Poco F3. This was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And apparently most of the phones ada proximity sensor. Di mana kalau proximity sensor ni, bila you angkat phone, dia macam it will automatically get the phone call. That means that you know you're on a call, so your face won't accidentally touch the screen dan sebagainya. So that is something which a lot of smartphones these days have. Lepas tu ramai orang ada komen dekat sana kata, oh, you did not mention about the proximity sensor issue. Dan lepas tu aku komen, aku cakap, because mine is fine. So yes, that's the only extreme situations. But then I will put there, I say, kalau ada issue dia, saya akan cakap. So kalau saya tidak cakap, kalau you ada issue, then it's not my fault, right? So, but sometimes the way they put it is like as though it's my fault. I didn't mention it. So, but that's the most extreme lah. I'm actually very blessed. If any criticism has always come from the global side, a little here and there. When I started off, quite interesting fact which a lot of people did not know. But since Ai knows me for the longest time, I used to have a piercing here.
Okay.
Elaborate piercing, and from the beginning when I started the YouTube channel, I used to wear it kan. Lepas tu ramai orang comment, what is that filth on your mouth? Aku macam, I didn't take it out because of them. I took it out because, if you're wondering, and all of y'all are wondering, is because my target audience are younger kids now. When I started off with the band, my target audience was teenagers dan ke atas. Lepas tu, when I get a 9-year-old and 8-year-old who comes up to me and holds my pens and say they wants to take a picture with Uncle Adam Lobo TV, it not only made my heart sink, but at the same time, I wanted to be a more, instead of only a technological role model, but even when it comes to maybe the person wants to look like me, wants to have a hairstyle like me. I don't want the kid to come up to say that saya nak ada elaborate piercing macam Adam Lobo TV. So that is one of the things. But again, why I'm saying I'm blessed is sebab ini adalah criticism which only came from the global audience at the beginning. Tapi Malaysian audience has been very, very, very supportive walaupun saya berbahas dalam bahasa Inggeris. So I'm very happy with our Malaysian tech friends and tech audiences. It has been really lovely. I have nothing bad to say. I've been doing tech tech YouTube for the past since 2007. And it's been lovely. I got no issue with, like, I didn't come across any bad stuff from our Malaysian tech audiences.
Yeah, because having being a content creator is already stressful. Then added with all those hate comments, they're gonna add more stress to your life. But anyhow, congratulations, for having a very honest and truthful channel, especially when you do reviewing. I think it's very important for you to be sincere when you're talking about things that you have to review. For the longest career, you being a tech career, have you ever encountered any gadget that you find that is very useless to the public?
I wouldn't say that it's useless for the public, but I would say that the USP of the phone ataupun feature yang diorang feature banyak sangat tu from the brand, it feels a little useless. So I'm not going to mention brands, tapi katakan there is one brand which I haven't reviewed, so I think for those of you tech fans, you can kind of guess what brand is it. Bila dia release smartphone tersebut, dia kata dia punya main USP adalah you ambil smartphone tu, you boleh drop how many feet, dia takkan pecah. So all the marketing things was surrounding over that. And I was annoyed because is that why we use our smartphone? Lepas tu dia punya marketing campaign, again I'm not mentioning the brand, dia punya marketing campaign, dia ambil phone tu whack durian, ambil whack on a walnut.
This.
See?
I'm not into tech, but I know this.
Yeah. So the content creation was based, the marketing campaign was based on that. That for me is useless marketing campaign because are we going to use our phone and come through those kind of situations? Tidak. So every single tech that has been provided, kita mungkin sekarang takkan tahu dia punya kegunaan. So kalau kita nak labelkan item tu sebagai useless, is totally unfair. But again, the people are the ones yang determine whether or not it is useless kan. I don't feel that is the issue here. I feel the issue is that when the brands come up with USPs yang tak kena dengan kegunaan produk tersebut. Yeah, so it's like for example, having a screen yang memang cannot crack, it's a good thing, okay? But it's not supposed to be the main feature of the phone. One very interesting comment which was said by somebody about a month ago is that he was giving me a compliment. Dia kata, I like the fact that you talk about how is the call quality. Sebab kita semua busy nak cakap pasal kamera dan screen, apa yang kita boleh buat. But ultimately, a smartphone is useless kalau call quality dia useless. So why? Is because the brands has positioned themselves as using that. So for me to say that if there's any tech product out right now which is useless, at the back of my head, I don't think so because last time you would never imagine kita gunakan smartphone seperti macam mana kita guna sekarang. If you tell previous Nokia 3310 user to say that, do you know you can surf the internet on your phone? He said, no way. So how useful was a smartphone then or a phone then and now? So I think it's unfair for us kalau kita nak cakap apa produk yang out sekarang ni is useless. I think the question is that what are the brand promoting or what is the key USPs that the brand is promoting? That should be the reframe question. Yeah.
USP, the stands for unique selling product.
Yes, betul.
Just in case kalau you guys tak tahu apa USP tu kan. So maksudnya bila ada barang tu dia akan ada certain USP dia lah, apa yang dia nak sell dekat gadget tu.
Betul.
Okay, another question is sekarang ni kita the technology it's going forward time to time. Sometimes it's quite hard for us to catch it up. Another example I would say iPhone lah. Basically phones lah kan. Every year dia akan keluar model baru kan. But in 5 years from now, looking at what Prime Minister has announced recently about the AI, how are we going to focus more on AI, on technology? What is your prediction on the next coming 5 years when it comes to gadget and technology, incorporating AI in that?
I had a very interesting conversation with a fellow fitness person who is quite famous, Lenora Low. When we had this conversation, she felt that she was a bit, hey, is this AI going to take over our jobs? it was not a major concern from her, but it was a genuine question from her to ask me. And my answer is that bagi orang yang rasa takut whether AI is going to take over their jobs, if you are way behind, maybe, but if anything else, I would say that AI will only impact us positively. It will give more job opportunities. So sebelum ni tak ada AI manager. Mungkin mana kita tahu. Maybe in the future say, hi, I want to interview for a job for AI manager. Apakah AI manager? Is to use your current SOP, your standard operating process, to implement AI. But you don't know where to start. So you have an AI expert. So I feel like in the future, there are going to be more job opportunities for AI. And I also think that AI is getting very advanced to a point whereby we might see a rage. That means like a race, not rage, but a race. That means like ketinggian. That means go up of AI influences. So I do not know. Maybe in the future, I might get an AI to host Adam Lobo TV. So that's how I feel is the future. A very clear example is Fly FM did it with their AI announcer, which is amazing. The idea behind it, from what has been crafted, the whole team with Dato' Jake leading everybody, it's really amazing at how it's going with that kind of direction, because that could be something moving forward. So bagi anda yang memang, sebab this question always asked to me, right? So if anybody is watching the podcast right now, kalau korang rasa bimbang pasal AI will take over your jobs, don't worry, because it will give more job opportunities. And with the recent KL Summit 2024, which is where I was there, with so many companies building their own branches dekat Malaysia, it's a huge positive from a tech perspective. Sebab kalau anda yang berminat di dalam bidang tech, you will get more opportunities untuk kerja. So I see a very good future for AI in Malaysia.
Yeah, because actually I think maybe concern ni datang kepada orang yang tak sedar tentang kewujudan AI dalam kehidupan. Actually 10 years back pun AI dah ada dalam kehidupan kita. Contoh, I bagi contoh maybe macam like your washing machine, the current automatic washing machines, right? When you put your clothes inside and you press start, dia macam akan automatically measure what are the weight and which level of water that they're going to use. That's AI. As simple as that, Maybe you didn't realize all these tiny little details. And like I agree to what you said earlier, like it's going to open more opportunities for people, I think graduate students especially. They will have more interest in AI, and there's going to be more education that's going to focus on AI, which I think is good. And we might be, the person who will be old people at some point, and they're going to replace us with this new information, knowledge, and technology. So yeah, don't be afraid. AI will definitely going to benefit you in the future.
Because just imagine this, imagine like one day you would be hosting, and then you got your AI person in hosting, and then you can relax.
Right, right.
And then you can come in, and then there's so many opportunities here, which I feel like just have to think about the positivities of what exactly is available.
I think AI, for me personally, for in terms of automation, digitalization is good. But when it comes to human touch, I would prefer more to the real human connection, human communication, because AI at this point right now, at the advancement of AI at this moment, I would say it couldn't reach the level of the human touch just yet. We will know in the next few years, we will know. I'm saying that in the context of our current AI situation at the moment. So yeah, I think it is up to how you're going to, process this information of receiving this AI in your daily life. Yeah, anyway, I heard that you brought some gadgets today to showcase it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a gadget showcase, but I just want to talk about my process in terms of how I review tech. So I did bring some of the ones which I feel has its benefits and some may not feel it fits with every market. So besides the iPhone, another way where technology has advanced is this. I don't know whether you know very well on gadgets in terms of laptops. Now, this is the M3 MacBook Air kan? Sorry. So, you can see it's very thin, betul tak? Sebelum ini, kalau anda nak edit video dan sebagainya, ini bukanlah laptop yang anda guna. Sebab you tahu, ini mana boleh. But believe it or not, the new M3 MacBook Air can edit all of my 6K resolution videos that you see on Adam Lobo TV. So, this is huge advancement in tech already. Sebab dulu kalau you nak buat video editing dan sebagainya, you rasa macam, alamak, I kena ada mesin yang besar and stuff like that. But we have advanced so much with great chipset. This is using the M3 chipset, the M4 chipset is out. So that is one thing which I want to let everybody know, that kalau anda dah familiar dengan tech yang baru, sekarang tech has advanced. No longer that you need a very thick laptop, so something like this is great. Another thing which I want to talk about, why I use daily, is this. So a series which I've been doing recently is revisiting old phones. Okay. So this is the iPhone 10.
Oh my God.
This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
And it still works. Can you show the front? Oh my.
So the reason why I'm bringing this out now is I nak beritahu korang bahawa anda tidak perlu tukar smartphone every year. That means like even though there's always a new smartphone coming out.
But they're saying, you know, like iPhone can, iTunes.
Yep.
I'm not sure about this lah because I'm not an expert. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, sure.
You dah tak boleh pakai iPhone lama ni because dia punya Apple tu dia sentiasa update dia punya Apple something.
There's half truth in that. It's not say you cannot use it. So like for example, the reason why I review iPhone 10 sebab iPhone 10 ini adalah iPhone yang last yang ada iOS 17 punya update.
Okay.
So the latest iOS update lah. So I revisited the phone to tell people that dari segi camera, dari segi software, whether or not it's still usable, even though there's no software updates, it's still usable. So it all comes down to what are your priorities, kan? So that's why I started doing a series, because this was exactly about 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I think. Then I even have the latest Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is the latest. And speaking of AI, this has all the AIs that you have, which means that if I'm not connected to internet, so this new Galaxy AI dipanggil. So sekarang katakan kalau you nak beli apa-apa, you ambil gambar, and then on the spot, you can, it's similar to Google Lens, but it's way faster because it's built in. You immediately will come up with search results. But this is the S10 Plus.
Oh, I used this phone dulu.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite. I did a video on this.
I jeling je phone ni tadi masih terpegang macam that looks like S10, and yes,
correct. It is the S10 Plus, and believe it or not, camera quality dia masih very, very good. Battery life not so, because it's a small size battery. But when I did a review on this, people loved that series. But diorang macam, wow, a phone which was released so many years ago, it's still great. So yeah, that's the reason.
That's your personal phone, is it not?
Yeah, all of this are my phone. It's just that I decided to revisit now. To be honest, some of the phones which I tried to revisit, not these brands, other brands I'm not going to mention, sudah bengkak. Dia punya battery terkeluar.
Oh.
Yeah. So now you know longevity iPhone dengan Samsung bagus lah. And then
it's obviously brand
I also want to talk about this. Now, for me,
please take out flip phone.
Oh, I didn't bring the flip phone. You should tell me.
He has it.
I got the flip. Oh, I thought I brought it. So there you go. So this too. So this is the AirPods Pro, and this is the Samsung Buds Pro, right? Both are great depending on which ecosystem that korang ada, but both has their advantages and disadvantages. Like for example, this, I'm not a huge fan of the fact that, see, I can't even take it out. They're glossy. So it's glossy. So this is something which I mentioned in my review. The fact that it's glossy, kalau your hands are wet, susah you nak keluarkan, you nak work out dan sebagainya. Tapi I still use this most of the time sebab I am within the Apple ecosystem, so senang. And when I work out, lepas tu I dapat phone call, I'll get that. And then you have this Buds. It's matte finish. It's in my favorite color, white. Sounds great. And in order for you to use this the best, it's best for you to pair it with a Samsung phone, right? So you can do the reverse wireless charging and all. So that is what I wanted to let you all know. The reason why I brought this is to not only give you a call to action to let you all know that I reviewed these products, but also to let you all know that I nak eliminate misconception bahawa you need to upgrade every year. You should not upgrade every year. Only upgrade your smartphone, your laptop, only if you have to. Kalau tidak, tak payah. So that is my main takeaway specifically for this lah. Yeah.
I love it. Sebab I rasa jarang ada tech review yang yang promote this kind of thoughts that you tak perlu sebenarnya nak tukar phone setiap masa, because even tanya I personally pun, I will have that thoughts yang macam, should I change my phone yearly according to the latest technology that they released? But then my things that refrain me from doing so, it's because financial lah kan, duit lah, because it's too expensive. I could use the money for something else. So I rasa ni ada satu benda yang bagus yang cuba diangkat oleh Adam sendiri, sebab I rasa especially anak muda sekarang kan, selalu sangat mudah terpengaruh nak benda yang latest, and things that always comes first is it's always iPhone lah and the camera. Tapi dia tak tahu the details and that. So I rasa macam Adam at the same time, dia bukan review, dia educate.
Very good point. I like how you labeled it like that. Yeah, because in the end of the day, the reason why iPhone is famous the way it is all honestly come down to reliability lah. So that's one, and of course there is some certain level of aspect of privilege that you get, like you guna iPhone. But to me, I am breaking it down to a more easier way to see. Yes, the iPhone is amazing, but there's also other options, and it's up to you. Kalau you rasa you ada budget, you nak beli iPhone, you nak beli Mac, you nak beli Windows, based on your requirement, belilah. Tapi in the end of the day, my job is to, like what they say, educate, and my job is to help semua orang yang subscribe and you and the whole entire team to make a purchase decision, which ultimately is the most important thing.
Usually macam lepas you review satu video tu, ada tak orang macam pergi dekat DM you and then ask further details about certain gadgets?
A very good question. I like how and this actually happens with friends more. So friend will say, bro, I saw you do the video of this. Good ah? And I'm like, if you watch the video, you would know whether or not it's good, bro. So, and it only happens with friends because they take my videos for granted, I guess. But so that's the only thing. Tapi kalau audiences, diorang tahu di mana video kita yang kita produce dekat Adam Lobo TV adalah very thorough. And selalunya kita akan buat dua jenis video. So when the iPhone 15 Pro was out, I was in Apple Park, and when I released it so I did one video which is the hands-on video. And then bila dah masuk dekat Malaysia, I buat unboxing and first impressions video. That means baru guna 1 minggu. And then I akan guna sampai 1 ke 2 bulan, and then I do another review. Because if you're just going to do one video when it's hype, you'll get the views. But are you going to help the audience? No. So when I do my full review, it's usually nobody will come up to me and tell me that, hey, is it good? It's usually, like I said, the friends lah. The friends will come up to me. Recently, so I had a friend, I'm not going to mention, Malu the Fleur. I reviewed a speaker, and he was like, bro, I saw you review the speaker, good ah. I took the video link and said it to him, bro, me and my team worked very hard on this video. Please watch it again to help you with the purchase decision.
How long is the video?
An average of 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, you should tell me that I'm not going to repeat my 8 to 10 minutes to you again. So watch this. Watch this link so that you get a better idea of the speaker. Yeah, it happens sometimes, maybe they just saw the clipping video or just the title and they ask you whether it's good or not,
I think that is maybe that. But I think it's also because of maybe to give them the benefit of the doubt, because they do not know what happens behind the scenes. So maybe they're thinking, maybe Adam got paid, so he's saying all the good stuff. So if I go directly to Adam, then maybe he'll tell me the truth. But I am telling the truth. So, yeah. I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes. So depend on the mood lah. If I'm in a not so good mood and the person's going to ask me this, it's like, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we're humans. We have moods too.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
We have
I'm just being
feelings
honest.
too.
Correct.
But I like people who are honest, instead of cover things up when they speak, especially someone who reviews stuff. What are the kind of advice you would give to especially the young generations out there who would like to spend their pocket money on gadgets that's quite unnecessary for them at that point of time? What would you say to them?
I feel like in the end of the day is to be educated is the most important thing. Don't listen to people saying stuff online and believing on it without really testing the device yourself. I remember when I was doing like a call interview for real-time users who was using the Galaxy AI. So I had a very good conversation. I was talking to real people. Bukan plan, bukan influencer. I was talking to real people. I talked to a guy who was a doctor. I said, how do you use Galaxy AI? This is very interesting. He said that kadang-kadang sebab dia adalah dentist. So kadang-kadang dia punya patient akan bawa medication. Dia akan tunjuk. Lepas tu, I don't know what's this. Guna Galaxy AI. That's fantastic. So one person and one of the best things about the Galaxy AI was the fact that very rare companies buat macam ni. Dia bawa Galaxy AI bukan saja untuk S24 punya series tapi S23 generation sebelum ini. I was shocked. I was like, wow, good job Samsung. So I asked him about how have you tried to update to the latest Galaxy AI because his wife uses that. So, no, I don't because I went online, somebody got some green line screen problem. So again, it's because of the lack of education because there's no way a green line screen can happen physically to your phone when you just update the software. It's just not mechanically possible, kan? So I took a step back and I told him, I said, I think it's very important for you to know that this kind of things cannot be fully believed. So it all comes down to education, kan? Kalau anda dah buat proper research, dan research ni boleh jadi in so many cara, kan? You can watch YouTubers, you can read articles. Some people don't watch videos, some people still read articles. That's why we have a website for where we convert all the things we say in video in a text format. Because some people still like to read. Like you on the way to MRT, you can read lah. So education is very important.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype. And I be honest, kadang-kadang hype ni boleh pengaruh kita sebagai tech review kadang-kadang. Because it's like, I got this, oh my God, so good. So that's one of the reasons why I do follow-up reviews. Where my audiences know, okay, sekarang ni Adam dah cakap pasal apa yang dia suka, apa yang dia tak suka. But apa yang saya suka at that point in time may change in my full in-depth review. So whenever people come back and say that I was waiting for this review after 1 month, after 7 years, after 10 years dan sebagainya, it's because here's where we'll revisit back benda yang saya rasa was wow. It comes down to that. Another very interesting fact is that the iPhone has this thing called action button di mana anda boleh remap to anything at all. And when it was out, a lot of people was very hyped about it. I was hyped too. A while time goes by, apparently ramai orang tidak gunakan butang action button, but I use this app called Todoist and Notion. So my whole life is around Todoist and Notion. So I use Todoist daily, and that's something which I feel it was very important for us to use that specific button per se. Yeah.
You have a vast knowledge in technology, right? Do you ever think like you want to, at some point in your life, you want to work with some of these tech companies? Because, when you review stuff, which means you know what are the possibilities, what are the competitors can bring, SWOT analysis. So you ever think of going into actually working with a tech company instead of being a tech review on YouTube?
I have had that thought 2 kali. The 2 times is because I went to the offices. Satu adalah this is because it was late earlier. It's not based on priority. Satu adalah Dyson, because the technology. I went to the factory in Singapore, and I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Right.
So that's why I felt like, if this YouTube thing doesn't go, maybe I should apply a job for Dyson. It came on my head, but never happened. Second of all is when you go to Apple Park in Cupertino, California, your life changes. You see how everything is done, and you go like, wow. Again, that thought came about. Not to say that they're just going to accept me macam tu. Tapi I would be lying if I said that that is not coming to my brains. Another 2 more companies also I feel was also mind-opening and eye-opening. Mind-opening is actually Huawei, because there are campuses which does not look like in China, but it's in Shenzhen, China, whereby it looks like you're in the UK. They have like university campuses in China. And Samsung has its own city in Korea, which I went. So these top brands, I'm not saying because they're the top brands, tapi sebagai tech reviewer, like what you said, you go like, I wouldn't mind being here. But in the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, look in the mirror and find out whether or not is that what you want to do. Because I feel like, while yes, it's great going there, but I've built so much, built amazing audiences who's watching this show and watching your show. And if I were to do that, I'm not only abandoning my dreams of moving forward, I'm also crushing the dreams of my team. I'm also crushing the dreams of a lot of viewers and audiences who are there. So that's why I always tell anybody who starts YouTube, even though when Ai talked to me about how he wanted to start a YouTube channel, I told him straight, do not do this for the money first. Okay, do it for passion and a lack of a better example, you can relate. Maybe one day you should get Ai to sit here, because he's a very passionate guy when it comes to his vinyl, when it comes to metal music. So, and we can see that in the YouTube videos, right? So selalunya the people. So just so you all know, and just so you know, I also do consultation for people who want to start a YouTube channel, which I charge, right? And have to say that. So because I went through a lot of funny ones, which I think there's a topic for another day.
Okay.
But one of the first things I always tell them is that you cannot look at it as money first. Look at it as passion first. Because not you tau, not your family, not your friends, but the audiences will be able to capture your passion even before you see the passion in your eyes. So passion tu tetap kena ada in terms of what you have. So yes, I would imagine myself going to all these tech companies, but I think if push comes to shove, I wouldn't come to that point of going, because I just don't want to abandon the dreams that I'm having right now.
Yeah, I feel you, because at some point I kind of have that thoughts as well, but not as a tech reviewer. As something else, but that's for another topic for us to talk about. Thank you very much, Adam. I think we have done quite an amazing talk at the moment, talking about how you review tech and the current situation of the technology. We wish best of luck in your career as a tech review.
Thank you.
And I believe to our viewers and listener at the moment know better the existence of Adam Lobo TV. So kalau lepas ni korang nak tengok review mana-mana tech ke apa, boleh terus pergi ke Adam Lobo TV. Kat situ memang ada banyak gadget-gadget latest, and as Adam said earlier, dia akan sentiasa update dia punya review so that korang tak rasa macam dia bias ke, dia review satu kali saja ke, tak dapat nak cerita dengan lebih mendalam tentang gadget tersebut. So bila ada follow up, then you boleh dapat dengan lebih mendalam lah info berkenaan dengan gadget tu. So follow and subscribe Adam Lobo TV, and not to forget our podcast as well, You Syu'd Know. You boleh follow our TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Jangan lupa untuk subscribe, like, comment. Kalau ada sebarang feedback macam biasa, boleh ke email kami di yousyoudknow@gmail.com. That's it for today. It is delighted to make your acquaintance today.
Yes, nice to meet you
much.
in the first time, and amazing
Yeah,
job what you're doing here at the podcast. And guys, yes, jangan lupa subscribe and support Syu'd so that she doesn't quit.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in, for listening until our next episode. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.